This is the harsh truth. The real obstacle in your life is not the world. It is your own mind. You know that you have the potential for something more, but doubt prevents you from achieving the amazing life you deserve. Today, I will help you kill that doubt once and for all. I will hand you the secret that built empires. At first, you'll think it's too good to be true, but by the end of this lesson, you will have discovered how to reprogram your mind and command a future that bends to your will. This is the Napoleon Hill self-discipline and success mindset that transforms weakness into wealth and hesitation into power. And it all begins inside your own mind. It is time to think and grow rich. Step 1, the law of assumption. The first step to transforming your life is mastering the law of assumption. Your reality bends to what you assume to be true. Most men assume failure. They assume disappointment. They assume the world is against them. And because they carry that assumption, life keeps proving them right. But when you assume success, everything shifts. You walk with certainty, you speak with conviction, you act as though the outcome is already yours. Henry Ford assumed his car would change the world long before it existed. Thomas Edison assumed the light bulb was his, even after thousands of failed attempts. Andrew Carnegie assumed wealth was inevitable when he was still earning pennies. They did not wait for evidence. Their belief created the evidence. This is the first secret. Assume success and you force your subconscious mind to obey. Fear loses its grip. Doubt begins to die. Your life bends toward the destiny you already decided was yours. But here is the danger. Assumption without direction is chaos. If you do not channel it into something definite, it will scatter and fade. And that is why the second step is even more powerful. It will take this raw energy of assumption and lock it into a purpose that cannot be broken. Step 2, definiteness of purpose. Without a clear purpose, you will drift. You wake up each day pulled by distractions, reacting to problems, and mistaking busyness for progress. You confuse motion with momentum, and when the day ends, you have nothing to show for it but exhaustion and frustration. This is why most men never rise. They spend their lives circling an activity that leads nowhere. Definiteness of purpose destroys drift. It narrows your focus to one aim so clear and so final that every thought, every action, and every decision is pulled into alignment with it. When you know exactly what you are here to do, hesitation collapses. Doubt loses its power. Clarity takes command. Look closely at history and you will see this law everywhere. Abraham Lincoln did not stumble into leadership. His purpose was so deeply rooted that even a fractured nation could not shake it loose. Andrew Carnegie fixed his eyes on steel and would not release it until an empire was built around it. Henry Ford declared he would put the world on wheels, and that single sentence forced reality to bend around his vision. These men were not guided by chance. They were guided by a definite mission. Most men never choose. They keep doors open, thinking flexibility gives them freedom. In truth, it enslaves them. A man who refuses to decide drifts from one half-finished effort to another, wasting his best years on distractions. But the man who chooses one purpose becomes unshakable. He stops scattering his energy and he channels it into something the world cannot ignore. So here is your task. Write your purpose in one sentence, not 10, not a page of goals that will fade by next week. One sentence that declares who you must become and what you must build before your time here ends. Speak it aloud every morning. Write it every night. Repeat it until it burns so deeply into your mind that doubt no longer has space to live. Because without purpose, discipline will fade. Habits will collapse. Your energy will be stolen by the next distraction. But with purpose, your decisions sharpen. You no longer compare yourself to other men because your direction is already locked in. Your days stop drifting because you already know exactly where they must lead. But here is the danger. Even with a purpose, most men fail because they leave themselves an escape route. They declare their mission, but they still keep a path back to the old life. And the truth is, you cannot build the new while protecting the old. Which means the next step is not about clarity. It is about destruction. Step 3, burning the bridge. Every man who rises to greatness must face a moment of no return. Until you burn the bridge behind you, you will always be tempted to retreat. You will always hear that whisper that says, if this fails, I can go back. That whisper is the greatest enemy you will ever face because it keeps you tied to the weaker version of yourself. Burning the bridge means this. You remove every escape. You destroy every excuse. You silence the possibility of retreat. Once the bridge is gone, your only direction is forward. And when your only path is forward, you activate a part of your mind most men will never touch. History proves this law. Henry Ford bet everything on the assembly line. His investors laughed. His own engineers told him his idea was impossible. But Ford had already burned the bridge. There was no safety net. There was no retreat. Andrew Carnegie demanded this spirit from his men. He did not want followers who were interested in success. He wanted men obsessed, men who had eliminated the possibility of turning back. Charles Schwab rose to power because he walked with that same finality. He carried himself as if leadership was already his, and he refused to return to mediocrity. Most men fail not because they lack talent, but because they never commit. They dabble. They keep souvenirs from their past life. They cling to old habits, old distractions, old relationships that hold them in place. Comfort whispers to them, promising safety, but comfort is a liar. It tells you that where you are is good enough, and greatness never lives there. So, you must cut off every retreat. Delete the distractions that drain you. Remove the voices that weaken you. Clear your space of the objects and habits that keep you tied to the man you used to be. When you burn the bridge, something extraordinary happens. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop wondering if you should continue. Your only choice is to advance, and that decision gives you more energy, more clarity, more drive than you have ever felt before. Thomas Edison did not keep an escape plan after his 10th failure, or his 100th, or his 10,000th. He carried on because retreat did not exist. Rockefeller built his empire the same way. Once he chose his path, he severed every other option. Success was not a possibility. It was the only outcome. This is why burning the bridge is the turning point. Two identities cannot live inside you. The man you are becoming cannot coexist with the man you used to be. One of them must die, destroy the retreat, and the old self will wither. And in that fire, the new self begins to rise. But once the bridge is gone, once the past has no claim on you, you must have something strong enough to replace it. Because if you leave only emptiness, doubt will come crawling back. The next step is the weapon that keeps you moving when evidence is nowhere to be found. Step 4, faith as a daily discipline. Faith is not a feeling. It is not a burst of motivation you hope shows up when life is easy. Faith is discipline. It is built like muscle, through repetition, through resistance, through daily practice that does not break, no matter how heavy the burden becomes. Most men wait for proof before they believe. They wait for evidence, for signs, for validation. That is why they fail. The greats believed first and forced the world to follow. Edison believed in the light bulb after thousands of failures. Ford believed in the automobile while the world mocked him. Carnegie believed in steel while working for pennies. They did not borrow faith from results. They created results through faith. Here is the truth. Your subconscious does not care what is real. It only cares what is repeated. If you tell yourself you are weak, your mind accepts it. If you speak fear, fear multiplies. If you declare failure, your actions bend toward it. But if you repeat faith daily, if you affirm that success is inevitable, if you act as if the outcome is already secured, your subconscious obeys. And when your subconscious obeys, your entire life begins to follow. This is why discipline matters. Faith is not built in a single moment of inspiration. It is built by reading your purpose every morning. It is built by writing it again every night. It is built by speaking it aloud until the words sound less like repetition and more like identity. Each day you do this, doubt weakens. Each day you do this, the new self takes more control. Abraham Lincoln did not carry faith because it was convenient. He carried it when the world around him crumbled. Rockefeller did not build certainty because markets were stable. He built it when markets shook. Faith does not grow in ease. It grows in pressure. That pressure is the forge that strengthens you into a man who no longer needs to see results before moving forward. And here is the challenge. Every day you are rehearsing something. Either you are rehearsing faith or you are rehearsing doubt. Every phrase you speak, every thought you repeat, every action you take is training your subconscious to either obey weakness or obey power. Which identity are you feeding? Daily faith disciplines are not optional. They are the key. They are the repetition that rewires your identity. They are the reason some men fold after a setback while others rise into legends. But here is the warning. Even with faith, you are still limited if you walk alone. The men who built empires understood that their belief had to be reinforced, multiplied, and sharpened by the minds they surrounded themselves with. Step 5, the power of the mastermind. No man rises alone. Your mind is shaped, sharpened, or weakened by the people you allow into your circle. If you walk with men who gossip, complain, and doubt, their weakness infects you. But if you align with men of discipline, vision, and purpose, their fire multiplies your own. Carnegie credited his fortune to the mastermind, an alliance of powerful minds united in one mission. Ford, Edison, and Schwab surrounded themselves with thinkers who sharpened them daily. They understood that one aligned mind can double your strength, but one weak mind can drain it completely. So choose carefully. Cut out those who dilute your vision. Seek men who demand more of you, who sharpen your words, who reinforce your purpose when doubt grows loud, because the quality of your circle determines the height of your rise. But this alignment is not enough on its own. Even with a mastermind, the world only rewards one thing: value. Step 6, the law of over-delivering. The average man does only what is asked and wonders why his life never rises. He clocks in, he clocks out, he delivers the bare minimum, and then he complains when opportunity passes him by. The exceptional man gives more than required, and the world cannot ignore him. Charles Schwab rose from obscurity to lead Carnegie Steel, not because he was the most technical or brilliant, but because he gave more. He offered more energy, more initiative, more solutions than his position demanded. Andrew Carnegie built his empire by volunteering for responsibility, by stepping into challenges no one else wanted, by pouring more into his work than anyone expected. Henry Ford changed industry because he refused to settle for good enough. He pushed to deliver faster, better, more valuable results until the market had no choice but to follow him. The law of over-delivering is simple. When you do more than you are paid for, when you give more than expected, when you push past the minimum without waiting for applause, you separate yourself from every other man. Your value multiplies, and eventually, your reward follows. This law does not fail, but it requires a new identity. You cannot think like an employee who asks, "What am I owed?" You must think like an owner who asks, "What more can I give?" That mindset creates trust. It creates influence. It creates opportunities that no resume or request could ever unlock. Over-deliver in silence. Over-deliver when no one notices. Over-deliver not once, not occasionally, but daily. Because the man who builds the habit of exceeding expectations becomes a man of certainty, a man of influence, and eventually, a man of wealth. Give more, and you will become more. And when you become more, nothing can stop the rise that follows. First, you learn the law of assumption, where your life bends to what you decide is already true. Second, you discover definiteness of purpose, the clarity that transforms wasted energy into unstoppable progress. Third, you burn the bridge, removing every exit until the only path left is forward. Fourth, you built faith as a daily discipline, training your mind through repetition until belief replaces doubt. Fifth, you claim the power of the mastermind, surrounding yourself only with minds that sharpen and elevate your own. And sixth, you embrace the law of over-delivering, becoming too valuable, too consistent, and too disciplined to ever be ignored. Together, these are not theories. They are not slogans. They are the laws that forged empires, built fortunes, and raised men from obscurity into greatness. And they will do the same for you if you live them. So now, you must choose. Continue drifting in fear, hesitation, and comfort, or step into discipline, faith, and purpose. Assume success. Write your mission. Burn the bridge. Build your faith. Align with power. Over-deliver until excellence is your identity. Do this, and you will no longer wonder if your life will change. You will know it. You will feel it. You will see it in the man staring back at you in the mirror. Say it now with conviction. I am not afraid. I act without hesitation. Everything is working in my favor, and I move like it. Your new life begins the moment you believe it is already yours.